Yeah, I was trying to play with YouTube, and it's like was a mistake. Yeah, I couldn't access the other stream. It's like I'm trying to get in there. It's like, how do I get in there? Like, duh. I have so much to learn. Hello, Cupie, Scott, and Balo and Paul. Good to see you. I'll wait for Data to get in here. Hey, Bob. And I have all these things that I've saved, and I can't find them. It's like, what the? Oh, no worries. I don't need them to do to tell you stuff. Anyway. Well, anyway, let's get Data. Get in here, girl. Anyway, thank you. Me doing the weird thing again. Incognito. Hi, Maria. How are you? As you can see, I'm doing it on. Hi, Simon. Doing it on stress and anxiety. And I was looking on the internet, and it's like going, and they all say the same thing. And I bet a lot of you have gone to look at these things, and they all say the same thing. Um, and they don't really tell you how to do it. So I thought I would, since I have a certificate in activity coordinator certificate, which was almost as much work as getting an AA degree. It was a lot of work, and I had to work in a hospital and other places in field work to get that. And I also have my OTA degree. So in occupational therapy, we do a lot of this kind of thing for people because we find physically and mentally that healing the body is as much a mental thing and an emotional thing as a physical thing. And so we have this mind, body, soul connection thing going on. Laughing helps a lot. But I mean, there's a lot of things that are hard to start. I think a lot of times when we're in the moment of having an anxiety issue or stress issue, it's not the time to try to think of something to do. Now it's time to think of it now before you're really stressed out and having a lot of anxiety. Figure out what your go-to thing is to do to help yourself. Now, everyone is a little different, of course. Some of you, like myself, I'm a very visual person. So I like looking at beautiful scenes and things like this. I like to do visual guided meditation where I can visualize things in my head. But there's a lot of things you can do if you're not that way. There's, I think one of the best things to do to relieve stress is to find out what you really respond to. There are a lot of things that we know stress us out, but do you know the things that help you? And these things you should, just think and look inside yourself and say, what things have I always done that are healthy? you know, Instead of like self-medicating with something. I won't go into that. But what sort of things really lift you up? And the first thing I thought of was music. Now, everyone, obviously, you have computers. You probably have phones. You can pick up. Spotify or Pandora for free, and you can stream music that is your particular thing. I'm at the moment listening to Ed Sheeran, and just a few of his I really like. But if I want to learn the lyrics, I will listen to it over and over till I learn it. If it's a really melody I really like. And generally speaking, I would avoid music that's like breakup songs, sad stuff, minor key, you know. Well, you do have a computer though, QP, and you can stream music on your computer as well. You can stream different radio stations, believe it or not, on these on computers, anything like that. Well, like I said, Scott, you find what you like. Okay, I also like classical, and I like jazz. And I like so many different kinds of music, and it just depends on my mood. If I want to listen to something really upbeat, there's lots of choices that really, they get your I guess your energy system bouncing a bit, which sometimes I think depression. Hi, Mindy. She's the gal I play Guild Wars with. Nice to see you. She's awesome, girl. I was just talking about how music is one of the things that I use to cheer myself up if I'm having a day, or if I'm really feeling sluggish, or if my energies are low. You know what that feeling is, when you just don't feel like you're on top of your game. Perfect is one of my favorite songs, and it's like the perfect love song. It really is. And deep down inside, I'm a romantic. I don't like to admit that, but I don't read romance novels or anything, but I am a romantic to some extent. I've invited him, but he's busy working on his schoolwork. He is a hard worker, so he doesn't have time for this side of thing. He might watch it later. So I've told everybody about Greg and Mindy, my buddies I play with on Guild Wars that help me, because I'm a newbie, and they help me. Yeah, he's our man. He's a sweetie. We just adore him. And he helps me get advance in the game, because he has a mesmer that will teleport me from one point to another. I know that sounds like cheating, but everybody does it. Okay, so music is one thing, and that's easy. That's easy to do. Find something that really, for example, I know I do a lot better with cleaning house if I'm listening to something with a good beat. It's house cleaning music. Get your music. It doesn't feel like so much work at that when you do that. Yeah, you guys don't have to. You don't have to do too much for me. You already do so much for me in the game. I feel a little bit like, wow, I'm getting too much help, because I guess everybody helps each other there, though. Billie Jean, by Michael Jackson. Yeah, well, there's lots of good music. I mean, we have the '80s, which had some really good hair bands, and and all kinds of stuff like that. And then there's the '60s, and you can't beat some of that '60s rock. Pretty good stuff. So we have music. So put that down. Say I can go to music if I'm starting to feel bad. Now, some people when they have a breakup, they'll listen to breakup songs and cry. Well, I mean, if that's cathartic for you, go ahead. That's all right. But don't stay there too long. We all have to kind of work through the emotions. So whatever helps you do that, and then you can release them. Crying happens to release chemicals in the brain that help relieve pain. So it has its purpose. But when you start slipping into depression, that's when you've got to get help. That's right. Michael now wears a pink shirt before he wore a white shirt. Wow. You like to clean house to Billie Jean like once a year. Oh my gosh. Uh, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the really hard rock, but it does get you moving. I have to admit, I do like Crazy Train. '60s, '70s, '80s, good music. There's some stuff good now, but there's very few real writers of music of quality nowadays because they've gotten auto tune. I mean, they don't have a lot of bands that actually have musical ability to play instruments. Some of which and it's just the way. It's just the times we live in. But you'll find a few people that write new music. I have two gentlemen that I use for my music for my videos that I've just discovered recently. One is Kevin MacLeod or McLeod, or how you say it, and Alexander Nakarada or Nakarada. I don't know how to say his name either. He's from Norway. He's like Norwegian and something else. Uh, and they just, yeah, Dio, or is it Dio or Dio? I didn't even know how to say it. That's how backward I am. Yeah, they're good. They're really good. Enigma's nice. There's some stuff I used to study by when I was having to really focus. And Mozart and Chopin and stuff are good for that because you can turn it down low and it's very, very, I don't know, it helps you focus. It just does. Sometimes I just like it quiet. But then, sometimes I can focus so much that my kids can say, hello, mom, 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 and I won't hear them because I'm just like, I'm focused in there and I'm just in the zone and they're just not going to get to me. Enigma is really good. I remember my son introducing me to that. Okay, so we've gone over music. What else? Someone said laughing. Laughing it also, just like crying, laughing, you know, produces endorphins in the brain, which are pain relievers and mood elevators. Um, and I like to watch some of the excerpts out of Ellen, the talk show. Yeah, Greg will kind of he used to have a band, a rock band, playing guitar, I guess, and he really has a nice. I bet he has a wonderful singing voice because he'll just sort of hum and a little bit, and it's like, wow, that sounds really good. Um, but laughing, I think that those of us who've been isolated into this Mandela effect that some of us are experiencing, or just isolated because of life, we don't have access because we're isolated either physically or emotionally or mentally into our own little shells, that having people to laugh with is like priceless. It really is. You can Some people whistle. Hi, Data. I'm so glad you found us. That's my mistake. Now, I had canceled that stream and it was still there. I'm going, why is that? How come I can cancel it and it doesn't, disappear? Cracking bones. Now, so we have laughing. So I watch Ellen. There's the things where texting gone wrong. There's all kinds of things she does. It has little excerpts on YouTube that are hilarious. They're absolutely, gut splitting. They're so funny. And I also like Michael McIntyre. He's British and he's funny. And he doesn't use a lot of foul language, which I'm not a real fan of foul language comedians that overdo it. I mean, there's a place for it, but he's really funny. He talks about kids and family and going to hotels and I just watched one about going to the dentist that I put in the Discord thing, Mindy. And that is so funny. If you have a chance, you should watch it. It's just hilarious. So we've talked about music. We've talked about laughing. Watching, I remember the first time my youngest watched a Laurel and Hardy. It was actually a bio on Laurel and Hardy, and it was two actors playing them, but they had a lot of the same slapstick in it. And my 5-year-old youngest, I didn't know, we all have that funny bone, but it's very unique. Okay, you have to find where your funny bone is. And he was sitting there slapping his knee, laughing hysterically. And I'm looking at my youngest son. I had never seen him do that before. Never seen him do that before. That was the most bizarre and funny thing. I was getting more kick out of watching my son than watching the movie, because he would find it hysterical, slapping his knee and everything. It's like, my goodness, that was hilarious. Okay, so we have music, we have laughing. Okay, now someone mentioned cracking bones, like in your hand. Is that what you're talking about? Like, this, that kind of thing? Well, there's a reason for that. There are supposed to be acupressure points in your hand. I don't know them by heart, but you can look them up online. Yeah, I know you have neck, mine does too. So I have a little bit of neck trouble too. I have a cat scratch too right here. That's that's proof that he loves me. He's making bread while I'm holding him and going, ow. I once had a hand massage at the mall with this, they were demonstrating this this cream, natural lotion or whatever. River of Belief by Enigma. I'll have to look into that. Is that one you really like, Bob? You have any music you really like, you can post it up here and share it with everyone. Maybe they can try it. But I mean, she did my right hand. Okay, she gave my hand a massage, and it's like, oh my goodness, that was so relaxing. And when she was done, I said, can you do the other one? Putting lotion on, anything. You see, think of a baby. What usually soothes a baby? Music, cuddling, the tactile comforting, the rocking. Another thing you can do, other than laughing, music, and getting a massage or something like that, or massaging your own hands, or getting a massage, which is very good. I have never had one, but I've had shoulder massage, which is really pretty good if someone can give you one of those. That's, and most people know how to do that. And that's very relaxing. And it's like sometimes you just go, oh, when someone does that, because you carry so much tension in your shoulders and your neck. We do. We do. It's very commonplace to feel that tightness in the back of your head, and then it crawls up and becomes a headache, and that's kind of where some of it starts. Another thing is having something to squeeze. Now, this is the sample they give us for the purple mattress, and it's very squishy. It's the most wonderful bed on the planet. I have to admit, it's like I don't hurt when I wake up. My back doesn't hurt at all at night. I have scoliosis, so I have issues. And it's like, this is like the most wonderful, and it's a lot of fun to play with. You've ever seen those worry stones where you rub your thumb on it, or the little stress balls you squeeze? Those actually help. Those actually help. We use them all the time in occupational therapy. And it strengthens the hands too. And so, I mean, that's something you can do, is get something to squeeze. You know, if you think about it, playing with clay is a lot of fun. It's very therapeutic. And you don't even have to make anything with it. Just squeeze it and shape it, and the kind of clay that doesn't dry out. Or you can use Play-Doh, make your own. You can make your own salt dough. It's really easy. These things are super simple. Get a man or woman to squeeze them fresh out. Although my youngest gives me hugs. Of all my kids, he's my hugger. And I tell you, I just live for those hugs. Can I have a hug, Ben? I don't even have to ask. He just gives me one. It's like, isn't that cool? Anyway, so your hands really, I think we carry a lot of tension in our arms and our forearms and our hands. So if you can do something, you can even put your own lotion on and just massage your hands. You'd be surprised. You can even massage your own neck if you have to. They have these massages you can get for your neck that you put your neck against too, or the chair massagers, which I have, and that really helps a lot. Rocking, you mean like back and forth kind of thing? Rocking is a self-soothing behavior. When I was very sick, experiencing a lot of it was before I had to have a particular surgery. I was losing a lot of blood, and I really felt horrible. And it was like I was so miserable. Rocking would be soothing. It would help me feel better. And that brings me to another thing. Changing the position of your head in a repetitive way, like in a rocking chair, is very soothing. One of my OT teachers, they said after a hard day, she and her friend would get in their rocking chairs and rock like crazy, because it was like it would help them. It would help soothe them from a rough day. So rocking chairs. You don't ever see that on the websites about how to relieve stress. Just sit in a rocking chair for a few minutes and tell yourself to relax. That's not a bad idea. And just I know one of the meditations I did, you start at your feet and you relax each part of your body, starting from your feet up. Or you can go from your head down. It doesn't matter. And so talking about meditation. Now, I know a lot of people are intimidated by that word, and they don't know how to start. They don't know how to do anything. I can look on my phone. My daughter's using an app at the moment from her therapist, because she has stress anxiety issues. I think pretty much all of us do. I think we're all messed up in a good way, right? And let me see. There's Headspace, which is one. There's a mindfulness mindfulcreation.com. There's all kinds of apps for that. I think hers is mindfulness or Headspace. Headspace might be the one she's using, and they're just a few minutes. There's also apps that will have guided meditation. And if you just, with meditation, the secret isn't to quiet your mind. I mean, a lot of them think you empty your mind. Nobody can really empty their mind. We got a lot of chatter in our heads. And to do that, to tell that to a beginner is really inappropriate, because a beginner's not going to be able to do that. A beginner needs to have something like a guided meditation, which gives your brain something to focus on that's not the worries of the day. Or just listening to music, or just sitting there and taking a moment and closing your eyes. Take 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, close your eyes and breathe. You'd be surprised how many people do not breathe properly and deeply enough. And if you don't breathe properly and get enough air in your lungs, your body will feel stressed. So breathing's important. Just sit for 5 minutes, close your eyes, listen to the birds, listen to music, and breathe. That's good meditation. And you'll see benefits from just that, and it'll be easier for you as time goes on. Just 5 minutes. You deserve 5 minutes, right? You deserve it. You deserve to take 5 minutes for yourself. You probably deserve more than that, but we'll start with 5. Okay? Another thing that I think is really helpful is I like to have a little, I used to do this all the time, I don't so much anymore, but have a little ritual of sorts where this may not be your thing, light some incense. This is incense I got up when we were going looking for Bigfoot, which we never got to do. It smells like a forest, a pine forest. It smells really nice. And then I would pick out one of these cards, say it out loud 3 times, and put it on a little holder thing or lean it against something. And I have these as well. And these are like affirmation things. We were talking about Florence Scovel Shinn and the affirmations, the speaking the word to make it real. And we can all manifest things nowadays. It's pretty common now, for good or bad. So we need to remember, try to keep it good. And it's really easy with the world we live in to just fall into the negativity, because it's just so prevalent around us. It's like that's all they want to tell us is the bad news. Let me tell you what one of these says. It says, I deserve the best, and I accept the best now. And then it says, I am mentally and emotionally equipped to enjoy a prosperous and loving life. It is my birthright to deserve all good. Claim my good. So, I mean, you can go into the in-depth, or you can just say that 3 times. Speak the words. There's power in that. There's power in intention. And it helps kind of to say to yourself, I have permission to be happy today. To have a good day. No matter what happens, I will face it with grace, and it'll be okay. All right? Another thing, and I'm out of focus. How weird is that? Okay, Paul, thanks for coming in. Another thing you can do is, believe it or not, I'm going to do it right in front of you. Chewing gum. Not the most socially acceptable thing to do, but that's really good gum. But chewing gum stimulates a lot of things in the face and helps relax tight muscles. Well, he must have been stressed out. That's why he's chewing. But this compression of the chewing causes stimulation of the nerves and stuff. And it helps. That's enough of that. Another thing you can do to relieve stress is find people to talk to. People that will listen, and they may not, they don't need to have an answer for your problems. They just need to listen. And to be a good listener. And a lot of us, the only place we have is online to find people that will listen to us, because our home life's such a shambles sometimes. I mean, we all have this happen sometimes. Yeah, you know yourself what helps you. Just try to remember, if you need to, write down those things that help you, so that when you get stressed, you go, oh, because when you're stressed out and you're having anxiety, maybe an anxiety attack, you don't remember to breathe, you don't remember to do the things that will help you. But talking with somebody really helps. Really helps. And people get paid to do this. They're called therapists. They're paid to listen and to give good feedback. And they get paid really well, And here, but hopefully you can find someone who will listen that doesn't charge you. Yeah, it always cheers me up to see you two in Guild Wars. And another thing that you can do, other than finding someone to talk to, is play games. I found playing, I've never played a game like Guild Wars before. I did hidden picture games, the usual, rather uninteresting things. And even though those are fun, though, finding the hidden pictures are fun. And, but playing a video game is cool. And the nice thing about Guild Wars is that there are a lot of nice people on Guild Wars. I mean, WoW is pretty brutal. And some people can be real asshats on WoW, I understand. But in Guild Wars, you'll find a lot of people who are very nice and are, the whole idea is to work with each other and help each other to go forward. So the whole thing about Greg and Mindy helping me is very typical of Guild Wars. They have guilds that, you can join. They have groups you can join to fight the big bosses, in groups and stuff like that. And so the whole game is premised on people helping each other. And yet you'll see some people that say you shouldn't have to do any of it with anyone else. I said, well, that's not the point. The point is to work with other people and to have fun. And when someone's down, you go heal them. When you're down, someone heals you. And it's like, it's a nice place to go. And there are nice people in it. And that's where I met Mindy and Greg, and it's like they've made all the difference, because I was playing pretty much by myself and joining in groups when they had big things going on. Well, Cupid likes WoW because she kills stuff. It's cathartic, isn't it, to kill some big monster? You die. Or you can play. Some people like to play Sudoku, or I like crossword puzzles or cryptograms. I mean, there's all kinds of things. The thing is that when you get into this loop thing about, stress and anxiety, you get into this self-defeating loop. And anything you can do to help break you out of that, what sort of things works for you. Whether it's a physical thing, a mental thing, a psychological thing, an emotional thing, auditory, There is a thing that we used. We had what's called a sensory room, and when I was a student, we had to find out what sort of things were things that we liked, that were comforting to us. And one of the nicest things was a weighted blanket. And you put that on yourself, and all of a sudden you feel like you're being hugged. It's really nice. It's just like, oh. And there was a rocking chair with a weighted blanket, and I tell you, you put that on, you rock, and you're just like, it was, it really, really helps. But not everyone responds to it. But most people respond to a weighted blanket, and they use it in care homes. They use it with children. Um, Also, one thing, somebody was it Paul that's saying he taps his feet? He's not here at the moment. I think he left. Um, they have these cushions you can put on your chair that you can wiggle on. They have a band you can put on the butt. If you have a four-legged chair, you can put on your leg of a chair, and you put your feet behind it and wiggle your feet with some resistance. We use this for kids that have trouble sitting still because they're just, they have to have sensory input all the time. And so we find ways to help them be able to sit in the classroom. And these little wiggle seats and the little leg thing really helps them. Oh, Bob, you're so bad. Okay, so that's nice. um, so I mean, if you're a sensory seeking person, I have a cat. His name is Billy, and he's what I call the sensory seeking cat. And he actually wants to be hugged tight. Not many cats are like that. And he loves that sensory input where he's hugged tight. So, I mean, if you're a sensory seeking person, a weighted blanket would be really good for you. You know, um, that's maybe why another thing that makes people feel better is having a pet, a cat or a dog. Cat or a dog are extremely therapeutic. Dogs are known to be very, very much therapeutic. But a really sweet cat is as well. Um, Not only do they give you affection, but they give you a sense of being needed because you have to feed them, you have to pet them, they want attention. You feel like even days when you don't feel like anybody needs you or cares about you, your pet will. Your pet will love you, will give you attention, will respond to your attention. And that's extremely, extremely therapeutic. And they know it is. They have therapy animals. I was at an acute care facility doing some field work at OT, and they had this, it's the poodle mix thing. What is it? Golden doodle, that's it. And it's supposed to be low allergy, not much dander, so people aren't allergic to it. And this dog, the dog went around to different people in the place, and it was like, you'd be surprised how wonderful it is to see people. Oh, look, they get their mind off their misery for just a moment to see a pet. And it was very, very therapeutic. And my my OT, my OTA, my clinical instructor, she was giving treats to the dog and then ate one herself. And I didn't even bat an eye. I guess she thought I was pretty cool after that. I was like, whatever. One of my sons used to eat cat food. What can I say? Needs sugar, he said when he was little. Um, but pets are wonderful. They are. And I don't, some, people even like pets that don't give them much affection back, just because they know they're needed and they're interested in them, like lizards and snakes and stuff and turtles and whatever. Yeah, senior facilities, they'll have animals that come in, therapy animals come in once a week. That's extremely cool. Hopefully, it's not that cat that knows who's going to die next that goes stays with the next person who's going to die in the facility. There's a story of a cat that does that. I'm just going, hmm. I think I'd be worried if the cat liked me a whole lot that night. Funny thing is that they've done this thing with Alzheimer's patients with giving them a baby doll, especially women, because most of them are women. And that was so therapeutic. They had a little baby doll to take care of, because they regress, in their memories and become like children, really. And yeah, my cats help me play Guild Wars. So sometimes I'll have a cat under my chin, cat on my lap. So it explains why I die sometimes in there. But I mean, they gave them these baby dolls, and it just made so much difference because they had something to do. Another thing they do with some of these older people that have this cognitive difficulties is they'll give them these jobs like you would have in running a home, like folding laundry, folding towels. And this activity is so calming to them. My brother Clark loved to fold laundry. He found it very soothing. And so you have the order of it, the tactile part of it, the accomplishing a task. It has a lot of points in its favor. So in that sense, sometimes something odd like that is unusually therapeutic. Folding laundry. You find out what you get from it. I will be putting links down. I'll put links down to the acupressure point on your hand for relieving headaches and stress. I don't recall exactly. I don't know if it's this one or the other one. I'm not sure, so I'll find out. Let's see. So we've covered a lot of things, haven't we? We've covered a lot. You have any more? You have any more things that help you? Folding, listening to me. You're so sweet, Maria. Are you feeling better, Maria? I know you had that cough that was lingering. Are you feeling better, I hope? And Scott says, the thing with the cat is, has anyone checked the cat for diseases? If people keep dying after the cat has spent a lot of time with them, might be worth checking the cat out. Oh, gosh. Oh. Walking. I'm glad you brought that up. Walking is very, very therapeutic. Just a 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk. Exercise. Exercise is known to release endorphins. So you see people that are like addicted to running. That endorphin high is why they do it. They're drug addicts in a way. But it's not a bad way. But I mean, sometimes I think they overdo it. I love being out at night. I used to play at night. We used to play hide and seek at night, or ghosts in the graveyard at night. And I used to love to play at night. My neighborhood was very safe. We had a park near us, and we used to TP houses, ring doorbells, and run away. Typical bad kid stuff. But exercise, I think that's partly why rocking helps, because it's kind of it is a bit of an exercise, and it does help the circulation in the legs, and it does stimulate the whole body in that sense. So If you can't walk, maybe pool. I like to do pool exercise. That always helps me feel better. What I do, my doctor had me walk in waist deep hot water, fast as I could go. Trust me, that's a workout. Trust me. So exercise is another thing that you can do. I'm not going to repeat that, Bob. um, I know Simon does a racing thing, and it's his best racing one was when he was drunk. That was the best one ever. Don't drink and drive was his motto for that live stream. But he does this 3D, the goggle thing, virtual reality racing, and I don't know if that's stressful or helpful with. I mean, it depends. If you really get a thrill out of that, and it makes you feel good, that's good. If you prefer to kill things in a game that helps you feel good, that's good. This is you find out what you really like. Uh, yeah, I'll put your link, Scott, to yours because you've been doing Sims, which is a lot of fun. I never thought Sims was that fun, and that all the strange stuff going on in Sims. Now I know what why people like that game, and then I even watch Simon doing race things. So I'll put the links to those two guys up in my description so you can enjoy them if you'd like to. Yeah, you and your Mustang. Zoom zoom. I have a 2005 Honda Civic. I'm not going zoom zoom very soon in that, I'll be honest with you. I'm just glad it runs. It's got 240,000 miles on it. It's a great car. I love it, but it's seen better days. It really has, but it's a wonderful car. I'm just grateful I have one. Oh, another thing. Speaking of grateful. Oh, thank you. Thank you for putting that up. I appreciate that. Put yours up too. Is gratitude. Sometimes, when you're having a day, you just feel like everything's gone to where. Write a few things down that you're grateful for, and most of us can find at least one thing, right? Maybe more. Gratitude is a wonderfully powerful, uplifting thing, because we do get into a lot of negativity, and this is just normal. This is just what happens. The world, and the reason we're so negative is because of the news. The media is so negative about everything. They don't talk nice about anyone. It's all bad. So I was looking around the net, and there are some websites that have good news, all good news, no bad news. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I should post that, because I would cut back on reading the news if you're having a lot of anxiety. So I recommend Simon's and Scott's channel. They're both entertaining and fun. So if you really like racing, Simon's getting pretty good at it. And his commentary is always amusing. And Scott with his the bald gamer, it's just funny. It's funny stuff. Yeah, a lot of news is selected to depress you, to keep us feeling insecure and disempowered. I think that's the news right there. So I'm going to post some positive news sites for you. So in the description, I'll do that. It may not be up immediately because I have to go through things on the computer and do that and look for them and make sure that they're the sites I want. And I'll also put up some apps that you can put on your phone, and some of them you can even put on your computer. They've adapted them for not only Android and iPhone, but also for PC. So I will do that. Well, there's a Simon. How are you, sweetie? Yeah, the news. I would really, really, and don't watch talking heads at all. Do not watch the talking heads. Read your news. That way you can just scan it. If you really have to know the news, scan the news, Google News or whatever news service you use. Scan it, read the ones that interest you. There's some interesting stuff in the science and in the, the entertainment and the technology and that sort of thing, in the health areas. There's some interesting stuff there that's not depressing. But I tell you, don't watch the talking heads because, television is really, in my opinion, bad. I'm just saying for your self-esteem. Yeah, they're programming the masses. That's, we're not the masses. We're strange people, and we're good, strange in a good way. We're not like everybody else. Yeah. So there you have a list of things there. Find something that works for you, whether it's a physical massage thing or putting lotion on your arms or getting a chair massager or, listening to music or playing games or playing with a squishy. You ever remember those things that have the little strings on that are cush balls? Those are so much fun to play with. Play catch with a cush ball or just throw it up in the air because of the feeling of them. It's so jiggly and wiggly and everything. It's just cool. It just feels, it might bother you, but I like it. Okay. So you have to find out what works for you. Okay. Well, it's been so nice to see all of you today. I hope this has helped a little bit to have an idea rather than going to these websites that don't give you any real help. They don't give you any ideas that you can really apply. There's an interesting story on today's local news. Air hostess from Manchester Airport are selling used tights for $30 on eBay. Be warned, though, Simon says the quality is great. I love you guys. You guys are so funny. Well, another thing you can do, I forgot to mention, is art. Now, it doesn't say you have to be good at it. It just says do it. So you know why those adult coloring books are out there? Because they've discovered that coloring is therapeutic. It helps you calm down. It helps you focus on something. It's like meditative. Because when you're coloring, it's really hard to think of anything else. You have to concentrate on keeping that color between the lines and everything. It's very meditative. So that's why there's all those adult coloring books. You're like, what are all those adult coloring books about? What's up with that? Who does that? We do that in therapy. Yes, we do. And it's very useful and it's helpful. There's some things that maybe you didn't know it calmed her down. Scott, maybe it did calm her down and she would have been worse if she hadn't colored. Okay, you take care. I have to do some shopping. The cats are starting to eye me for not having cat food. The canned cat food is like, they're looking at me like, where's my cat food, Dad? Where is it? Okay, so you all take care. I'll put the links up before I head out to shopping, and stay cool. Bye-bye. Yeah, Simon's having his premiere in a minute, so if you want to go over there, have some more talkie. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.